This week on the Weekly Read. So I know so many people think that weed addiction isn't necessarily a thing. So what are your thoughts on that?
Try to run from the fact that I was addicted to marijuana.
What are the other things that you think people can be addicted to? Hi, and welcome back to the Weekly Read. As I'm hoping you guys all know by now, this show's goal is to entertain and educate simultaneously. That being said, this week's show is going to be just as important as the rest. This week's show is all about addiction and how it manifests in so many different forms, because when people hear the word addiction, they think of drugs, alcohol, and that's pretty much it. But it does take on life in so many different ways, and I have my guest here today to explain that and explain his experience with addiction and things that he's experienced. So I'm so happy to welcome him to educate me and you all. But that being said, please let me introduce you to the wonderful Jihaad Nash. So thank you so much for coming on my show.
No problem.
Can you just introduce yourself?
My name is Jihaad Nash. I'm a senior at Westchester, and we're going to be talking about addiction today.
Okay, and why did you choose that topic?
I feel like it's a very touchy subject, and I feel like a lot of people in our generation have issues that they run to drugs with.
Okay.
And then we have a lot of people who are addicted that don't even know that they're addicted.
Okay, and I think that's a really good point that you make, because people think addiction is only drugs and alcohol, but it's really so much more than that. So you mentioned people that you might know or something kind of turning to drugs when they're kind of dealing with something. Is it specifically anything specific?
Well, I have a couple of friends that I went to elementary school and high school, and a lot of them, they're on Percocets and weed now, and it's just to see them I know the reason why they're doing it. I feel like they're running from something,
right? And
I feel like it's a coping mechanism for them.
Right.
So J. Cole kind of touched on it a lot in his last album.
I didn't hear it. What is it? Kids on drugs.
Yeah.
Okay.
He touched a lot about that on the whole album. He was talking about that. But I have a lot of friends that are on drugs, and it's just to the point to where they use a lot of drugs every day, and I just want them to change.
Right. And so you said you think it's a coping mechanism, they're running from something. Yeah,
because even for me, I don't know if we're gonna get into that, but even for me, at first I would try to downgrade, I guess,
right,
or devalue the fact that I was addicted, or try to run from the fact that I was addicted to marijuana.
Okay.
Even though I know that I am, but I would just try to run from it, or try to say at least I'm not on this drug, or at least I'm on that drug. So.
Right. And that's a good point that you brought up, and we can just segue into the rest of the topics of the show. But so you said that you feel like you're addicted to weed, or you?
Oh, no, I am addicted to weed.
Okay. And what do you think? I know we talked about people kind of running to that to kind of get away from their problems. So would you be comfortable sharing what you're necessarily running away from?
So it's definitely. See, for right now, I know definitely when I have a rough day, or if I have a long day at work, I'm just I can't wait to smoke when I get home.
Right.
Or it's a vibe as well.
Right.
But some people would just say it was a vibe at first, instead of saying they were addicted, they would just say it's a social thing.
Right.
Whatever. But it's an addiction.
Yeah.
But that's running from stress and fear and just dealing with all that internally and not really talking
being
about
a college student and a black man in America, all of it together, I feel must be a really hard position to be in.
Yeah, it is, and I'm the kind of person where I don't really like nobody to see me out of my character.
Yeah.
So I feel the marijuana actually plays a part in me blocking all that out and all of my own emotions out and stuff.
Right. Yeah, so I know so many people think that weed addiction isn't necessarily a thing. So what are your thoughts on that? That because people often say that weed isn't addictive.
Well, I feel anybody is addicted to anything if you feel you need this, or if you'll do something, you'll do whatever you can to get this to get it. You'll spend your last to get it or whatever. Then you're addicted to it.
Right.
If it comes in your head that you need it, you're addicted to it. And people, like I said before, people may think that because it's marijuana and it's legal in certain states and stuff, they may try to I guess downgrade the fact that they're addicted to it, but they really are.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on legalizing weed? What are your thoughts on that? I know it's pros and cons.
I think that because it doesn't kill you, I guess.
Right.
I think that it should be legalized, but I don't think that it should be I feel you have to be the right person to get it. I do feel the medical cards are necessary. I don't think that anybody should be able to walk into a weed dispensary and get it, because I feel some people really need it to do certain things. For me, it makes me tired now.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't used to make me feel that way, but now it makes me feel tired. So like, I can't really, I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, I can't really smoke during the day.
Right.
Because I'm be tired and I'm not gonna get any work done and things like that. So at least I know that about my addiction. Like I know that I only can smoke at nighttime.
Right. When were you introduced to marijuana?
Well, both of my parents smoke.
Okay.
So I kind of always wanted to see what it was going to be like when I got older, when I was younger. And I think when I was around like 14, like 14, 15 is when I actually like first tried it.
Right.
And then I started to do it like often. Then I actually was on Percocets. I actually was taking Percocets for a little bit of time.
Really?
I tried Xanax, yeah.
So you pretty much tried.
So the drugs that my friends are doing now, heavy, I like did those things when I was around like 16 to 18. It was occasional for me, like
right.
the Percocets and the Xannies, but I definitely did it.
Okay, and so now that you're in a position where you're not taking them anymore, what is one thing that you would like to tell your friends who are still taking them, or how did you get off them?
Well, I would just tell my friends to talk. Like it's easy to talk to somebody and not to hold all that stuff in. Like you can't let all that stuff build up, all your emotions, everything you're going through in your life build up, because everybody that they're around, they're all running from the same things.
Right.
So it's just like everybody just sitting around on the block high, just trying to run from life and run from, I guess, their fears of not being in the position that they thought they would be in, or whatever the case may be. I just want everybody to stop and just I don't know, just go to rehab. I don't know.
Right, and so something that I've noticed recently, I feel like, and I think everybody's noticed it, when there's drugs in the black community, it's looked at as like, whatever, they're gonna do what they do. But when it is in the white community, now it's a problem.
Right.
So how do you feel about that? And do you think white people have things to run from?
Yeah, I actually do think white people, cause I actually have a Caucasian student in one of my classes, and we was talking about. I told him that I was going to come on here and talk about this. And
you were talking on my show.
And he was telling me that you know, the expectation that some Caucasian people have, like their parents might have like the best job, so they might feel like they have to go to school, even if they know it's not really for them. They have to go to college and they have to get these things done just to try to get in the same position as their parents. Even though a lot of them have connections, way more connections than we had, but this one guy told me that like it's very hard to like he used drugs to like cope with the fear of not being where he wanted to be in life.
Wow.
So, and in terms of black people, I think because it is in certain areas of, I guess in the rural areas, that's like together, right?
The rural?
Yeah.
No, urban.
Oh, urban.
Rural is like the country.
Oh, right. So in like the urban like community, I think because everyone sees everybody do it, they feel like it's like normal. And instead of really knowing the reason why, like I never even asked, to this day, I never even asked my friends like why do they use the drug that they use.
Right. But you think you kind of have like an idea why?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah. And even when we have like one of my friends in particular, we have conversations. Well, we used to have conversations a lot. And that's his problems that he was telling me about. I kind of thought that's the reason why he may be using drugs, whatever. And and you know your tolerance get higher. So now, when we were younger, they might take one perk and then smoke. Now they're taking like 3 perks or taking like a higher dosage of them.
Just to feel something.
Yeah, that's to feel something. So and they're like numb to it.
Yeah.
To where they are still from their families, everything.
So when you get to the point where you can't like feel it anymore, does it become not as enjoyable, or is it more of a challenge?
Well, so for me, in terms of like marijuana, I know that, like I said, it makes me tired.
Okay.
And I'm definitely not going to go to no other drugs. Like, it's not a gateway for me. I can't speak for everyone else, but for me, it's not a gateway to anything else.
Okay, so I know we talked about how drugs, people can be addicted to drugs, but what are the other things that you think people can be addicted to, and why?
Well, I know some people who are addicted to work.
Okay.
And like even in terms of college, like you have people who are like constantly in the library because they may be afraid of failing, and the people who are like mixy, they may look at themselves like, what, am I like doing enough?
Right.
Like I see some of the same grades from people that are in the library all day, from people who are, I think it's just a fear. So I was talking to people earlier about this, just to like get some like more insight on things. And some people told me they were addicted to like work. Someone told me they were addicted to sex.
Wow, so you did background research before you came. That's really cool.
I was talking to homemade earlier, yeah. But like so a lot of people was like told me different things, but You can be addicted to like exercise.
I've seen so many people addicted to exercising.
You can be addicted to like there's anything, but some people don't know because it may be their norm.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like addicted to lying. People can be addicted to lying. That's what being a compulsive liar is. So it is a lot of things that I feel like people can be addicted to.
Right. Well, I remember seeing Jada Pinkett Smith. I don't know if you watch Red People Talk, but she had spoken up about how she had a sex addiction, and that's something that a lot of people don't think that is like a real thing. People just think, oh, I like sex, when sometimes there really could be something wrong. Or I know I touched on the subject of working out, but I think at one point I was addicted to working out. I was in the gym like 5 to 6 times a week, just like trying to like avoid, I guess, what was going on in my head and what was going on in my life. And I have also been a workaholic before. Dang, I guess I'm an addict. I'm like sitting on the show
we all have.
So do you think that they're all rooted in deeper issues?
See, and because in terms of a workaholic, like I feel like some people actually like what they do, so I wouldn't consider that being a workaholic. Okay. But if you don't take time for yourself, that's when it becomes a problem. Like if you're just so drained, you're not getting any sleep, then that's when it becomes like an issue. But I don't think things that can like lead you in like a successful direction can be painful. That's just my opinion on it.
No, I mean I definitely get that. I think you make a good point. I guess if it is something positive. And if you're not overdoing it, then can we really consider it like an addiction, or is it just something that you really enjoy to do? And I think that that's an important point, because then where do we draw the line? Like, where do we draw the line between I really enjoy doing this and now like I'm addicted and I have a problem? And I guess it varies from person to person, but
like even with like my marijuana addiction, it's like like I said before, I only can smoke at night, and that's detrimental, because at first I would smoke during the day, like during the school year, like my freshman and sophomore year, and I wouldn't like want to go to class. I would just chalk class. I wouldn't get no work done until later during the day, or I might take a nap. And now I don't really like naps. I really only like smoking at night if I don't have anything to, like if I have something to do, I only can smoke at night. If it's like the summertime and I'm not doing anything, I can whenever. But I definitely plan on quitting soon.
Oh wow, that's big.
I honestly, I told myself, like when we first talked about the interview, I honestly told myself that I was going to quit today. But it's not going to.
But it's not going to. It's okay.
I'm going to be honest with myself. I know that it's not going to happen.
Okay, and so what steps do you think it'll take for you to reach the point where you can actually be done with it?
I think for me, I would have to find the root of the reason why I smoke. And then use the time that I'm smoking or thinking about it to just find like a hobby or something that I can like it can take the place of it.
Okay, and so you feel like as of this, or as of I guess before this moment, you couldn't really like live without it?
See, I've had time that I couldn't smoke, but it was only because I might not have had any money, and things like that. But I definitely wanted to. But I don't have to like. I'm not the kind of person I have to like run to weed or like, oh, I have to get weed like right now. Like I need it right now. Or I wouldn't like steal from my mom or nothing to get money for weed. But if I don't have it, I don't have it. And it's not that deep for me. I can't go cold turkey though. Because it's going to be unhealthy. I've been told. Because like your body might start acting different. It's to the, another thing I meant to tell you about it. But my addiction is to the point to where I can't really eat unless I smoke.
Really?
So like in the morning, I don't know why, but in the morning, like if I might eat breakfast or I might get something before I smoke, I'm gonna waste it. I know that all the time. If I really want to eat all of my food, I would have to smoke before I eat it. It's like my stomach, like in the morning my stomach hurts because it's like I need weed. And sometimes I just have to smell it and then I would like.
You'll be okay.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Wow. So what do you plan to do after you quit fully? Like how do you plan on gaining back your appetite?
Well, I'm trying to move out of it slowly. I'm gonna quit smoking slowly, and I'm trying to quit biting my nails. So that's like another addiction I have. So I'm trying to do all that at one time, and the nails, even biting my nails, I don't even realize I'm doing it sometimes. And then I look at my nails and
they're like nubs.
And they're starting to become an insecurity of mine.
Really?
Like I don't know why I even let myself get to that point, but it's definitely starting to become an insecurity.
Wow. You just have me thinking of like all the things that I might do, like compulsive things that I might do that would count as an addiction. I'm trying to think, what do I do? I don't know, I guess I've like pretty much listed all the things that I've been like addicted to. I think for me, my main thing was when I was in school, I was addicted, that's where the workaholic thing comes from. I was addicted to getting E's, like to the point where, but like it was unhealthy, to the point where I would like not go out just so I could study for a test. Or
so how would you feel if you didn't get an A in that class though?
I got probably like 3 or 4 B's throughout my college experience. I literally felt like I wasn't shit.
Wow.
Like, I really felt horrible about myself. In my last semester, I kind of like chilled on myself, but I was so obsessed with having a high GPA, and I think that was because one, I wanted to be a Delta, so I knew you had to have good grades.
Right.
So that was like way back before. But I don't know if you heard my Kente speech, but but I spoke on how. My guidance counselor had told me that my GPA was too low to ever get into like a school like Westchester, and I think that I internalized that, and I wanted to prove her wrong so bad that I became addicted to getting good grades. Like people like in my life would tell me like, you should just chill, like you know. And
I wish I was addicted to that.
No, but it's something that you should still be able to enjoy your life and not focus on it. Like I would take a test and then like be stressing like for a week, like anxious, like to the point where I'm like I can't eat because I'm just like you know, and I don't mean to sound like a braggart if that's like it's just more of like a, I don't know, I feel like, because I asked you before if you think addictions are all rooted in deeper issues, and I think that they are from like as per my experience.
Well, from what I heard from you just now, it may seem like the issue from you being like a overachiever, I guess.
Yeah.
Would see, I can't really say overachiever because you're supposed to get good grades. It's like, but you're
supposed to get good grades, but you're supposed to still enjoy your life.
You wanted to prove that particular teacher counselor wrong or whatever.
I'm just gonna say one more thing before we wrap up, but I think nowadays the biggest addiction that so many of us have that we don't realize it is social media.
Yes, I forgot to say
that. Oh my god, yeah, social media I think is killing, like literally killing our brain cells. I know for me at one point I was also addicted to Instagram. If I didn't get however many likes within an hour, I would delete the picture.
I tell people this all the time. You told me one thing about Instagram without you even telling me.
Oh, did I?
So, because I tell my friends this. Because I look at you and you and Cheyenne are like my biggest like inspiration, people that I like know.
Oh, thank you.
So I tell like in terms of like our field, because y'all are the ones who are actually like doing things, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
So with you, I learned that I would delete like pictures from like the past if I didn't like it or if it didn't have a certain amount of likes. But from looking at your page, it seemed like you just like you gotta let your audience see your growth.
Right. Yeah.
And then see like where you started from, and then they can see like, oh wow, like she used to take pictures like this, and now she's like this.
It's like this.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And it kind of helps your brand because they get to see that you're actually a normal person and you're like authentic. So I learned that from you without you even telling me.
Thank you. Wow, yeah, because I definitely do have pictures on there from like 2013.
Yeah, and like sometimes we might want to clean our Instagram out and delete stuff. I learned to like I'm just letting everything just
right. Yeah. Well, I heard somewhere, it's just like a study that like people, I forget what it is, but the way that people feel when they get like a like on their picture is like something, I forget what it was, but basically you get a rush when you get like a new like on your picture. And for me, I definitely feel like I've experienced that before, like just like, oh, I got a new like on my picture. Oh, like how many likes do I have now? And at one point it was so bad for me that I was like, I'm gonna delete my Instagram after I post a picture, because I would just get addicted to just seeing how many like new likes I got on pictures. And I wonder like what's the cause of that, because now Instagram and things like that are like a whole competition and everybody's trying to like outdo each other. So I guess at the end of the day we're all addicted to one-upping other people.
Because it's even to the point to where I would even think of times that I know I can get the most likes, especially being in college. Like I have a lot of college followers, so I know like everybody's on their phone in class.
Yeah, right.
So if I post like kind of early during the day, then I know everybody's in class on their phone, so they're just scrolling while they're in class or whatever. So I stopped thinking about the time and just start. He actually told me that. Yeah. I stopped thinking about the time and
just posting.
Yeah, start posting.
Yeah, and I don't think like because a lot of people now have their pages as business pages, and you can see the insights or when people are looking at your pages the most. And I've been guilty of like checking that out even, but I just wish it wasn't just such a crutch for all of us. Like I wish we didn't need it. And companies obviously know that, and they're playing at it, because now it's like, oh, your picture's not gonna really get that many views if you don't pay for promotion. So now it's really all about money, and that's very unfortunate. But just phones in general, social media and phones, we just always have them in our hands. And I think that's like pretty much an overarching addiction. Like, you know, only certain people might be addicted to drugs or sex or work or working out, but I think like in general most of us, especially millennials, have an addiction to our phones.
And then it's kind of bad too for us because the field that we're trying to go into is like we need it.
You need it, and it sucks.
And we like you need it. And people that I hear like that in our field, they say like, I'm going to delete my social media. In my head, I'm like, you can't do that because the way it is for us, we have to have it. Even I'm taking a strategic social media class right now, and they're like teaching us about like branding and stuff, like how to brand ourselves. So I'm looking forward to how that's going to go.
Yeah. But I was even like thinking about deleting. I say it all the time that I want to delete my Instagram, but when you really think about it, you really can't. Especially now that I'm doing my show, it's kind of like it would be very counterproductive. But that is pretty much the end of our show. So I want to thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You were great. Do you have any lasting advice that you would like to give before we sign off?
I just would just say like, don't run from none of your problems. Face them head on because you know you're gonna make it through no matter what.
Right.
Drugs is not the answer. I'm trying to quit myself, so that you can see me as like an example of like I'm trying, and I really want to stop, and I'm trying to stop running from all these problems. And
right.
pretty much it.
Well, again,
and listen to J. Cole album too, because if he really touched on it, it made me want to talk to my friends about it.
Right. Well, again, thank you so much for being on my show. We'll be back next week with my friend Amani. We're going to be talking about self-love. Thank you guys.